What's up, Masters? How you doing? So, I'm recording this because my buddy Becky and I talked a little bit about it, and I promised her I would. Becky Blake, one of the most extraordinary people as far as getting through to kids that have difficulties that I've ever met. I met her fleetingly, or just really quickly at some Anthony Robbins events. We were working on the crew. She's amazing, and she had set the universe on fire focus to her back then, and she's turned it into an amazing mission. But she lost her mom, and she was having trouble coming to terms with it. So I happened to comment on her Facebook that when our family went through our little bury everybody fast thing, where we went 5 funerals in less than a year and a half at the same mortuary in Bountiful, and then one other one. And while that was difficult, those are older people. A couple of the younger ones had health issues, so there was some expectation. The one we didn't have expectation was Joe. Now, Joey was just less than a week before his birthday, I think. It was October 3rd. So, it was October 3rd, 2011. He had a birthday coming up on the 20th. Joey's is. And or is it 26th? Matt's is the 26th and Joe's the 20th, I think. So I'm sorry, I know I get him interchanged, but I can wish him happy birthday at the same time. It's like, yay, covered it. So I won't get into what was going on, but Joey, we had gotten a text, or his family and all of us had gotten a text that morning that he was having a pretty damn good day, to say the least. And a couple hours later, an hour later, we get a message that he's hurt. And he's hurt bad. He's with his son and his best friend. The last thing he did before he left on this trip with his son and his best friend is kiss his daughter, whose birthday was coming up too, right around the corner. Less than a few days, 3 days away, 4 days away. He said, "I'll be back for your birthday. I love you." So, as families do, when you get that kind of note that somebody's seriously hurt, you're on tenterhooks for the next little bit. Well, you know the outcome. He died. He died from a knife wound to the heart, and he bled to death. People in Panguitch, Utah, the emergency room down there, worked themselves crazy trying to save him, revived him in the helicopter several times, attempts to revive him in the helicopter, flying from Panguitch to St. George, but he didn't come back. So we lost our Joe. Now, so over the course of the next several days, he was 300 plus miles away from home, and his family was aching to have his body brought back to Salt Lake, or up to Ogden area, Syracuse. Well, that gets done finally. Long and painful, difficult thing because of the nature of the industry or the injury, they had to the police had to be involved, make sure there was nothing untoward went on, and he had slipped and stabbed himself in the heart. So we go through that 8-9 days of hell, and this is the thing that I still look back on. I kept telling myself I don't deserve to be as sad as I was. I didn't deserve that. His family was most important, which they are still. But I didn't allow myself to be as sad as I needed to be. That's another story we'll get into. But the transcendent moment came at his funeral. I'll just give you a heads up. The day before they had his viewing, Joey was a mechanic at Smith's Groceries. Just a good old boy. Just Keystone beer, most fun. The most loving guy you've ever met, and we had no idea the kind of serving human being he was. In fact, an elderly woman showed up at the viewing, and she had said one morning she was outside trying to start her car, and it wouldn't start. She lived up the street from Joe. She said, "Here comes Joey, hands in his pocket, smile on his face, 6 in the morning, says, 'Hey, you doing okay?' She said, 'Well, my car won't start.' So he proceeds to get in there, being a mechanic, pulls it apart, says, 'Your starter's gone.' He pulls out her starter, goes down, to the parts store, picks up a new starter, comes back, puts it on her car, starts right up. And she says, well, can I pay you something, Joe? He said, no. Knowing that she was the Relief Society president from a Mormon ward, he said, no, just buy me a beer sometime. And she chuckled about it because she said he was so damn cute. This quiet mechanic had 400, 500, 600 people show up at his viewing, wrapped around the parking lot. I'm not going to get emotional talking about him. So that was a beautiful event. People talking about service. I'm just walking on the property here, having a nice walk, but talking about the service he did for him. That all went on. Next morning, I got there early for the funeral. And I was in the room with his body in the casket. It was an open casket in the morning. I was the only one there. And I'm standing there watching him in that casket, and his chest is going up and down. I feel, I had never had a panic attack before, but I began to feel that adrenaline that creeps up your spine. You know, when you get a panic attack, you can feel it start in your spine and it radiates out. I could feel the panic attack starting. I know what it was. I thought I was going nuts. Sweat was pouring down. I could feel water running down the middle of my back. And the funeral director walks up. He said, are you okay? I asked him a little bit later how he knew something was wrong. He said, well, you were pale and water was pouring off you. Something was up. I said, well, I think I'm going crazy. He said, okay. I said, I'm standing here watching my little brother breathe in that box. I'm watching his effing chest go up and down. He looked at me for a moment and he kind of grinned. He said, there's nothing wrong with you. You have spent a lifetime watching this man animated, it's going to get to me, animated, and the life in him do what it does. And your mind can't wrap itself around. It still sees the beauty in him. I thought, holy shit, there's the epiphany. I can choose to see beauty in anything. There was no life in him, but I focused on the beauty that was him. I know whatever he was is still out there. The science has proven now that human beings are electric animals. We know, science has proven, Einstein said it, everybody agrees, electricity, energy never goes away, it only changes form. We know now string theory is something that's discussed. There's something very close to us that we don't quite understand. I, as a Christian, believe it's called the veil and believe right on the other side of the people we love. I can talk about shit that's happened to me in my life that I can't explain. And things that would you say, the bull, that didn't happen. And they happened. I was a drug-addicted alcoholic at one time. My friends went to prison. And the moment they were getting investigated, something made me change. Well, Alan Peterson and Todd Summers and some others plucked me out of that and said, you know what, you're a dirtbag, but we love you anyway. I believe that was God intervening at a bigger mission. But I saw beauty and life in that boy. I saw what he was. When Matt and I walked in the room where his body was, we both said almost in unison, that's not him. That's not him. Matt said to me, because Joey was this big old redneck, he said, that's just the pickup truck he rode around in. And that's exactly what it was. It was just a vehicle. What animated him and made him beautiful was not that body. It was the light in him. And light doesn't go away. It changes form. So, in talking to Bex a little bit about her loss of her mom, she was asking for some opinions, and I've never been short of those, but, I saw the fire that was in her and the mission that was in her years before. And her ability to bring kids out of what are almost like a comatose state where they don't talk, they don't function, and get them to start functioning again is astonishing, miracle worker stuff. And I know in my soul, I believe in my soul, I guess I believe in my soul that her mother now has a better understanding of the mission that she has. She understands what drives Becky to lift people out of that. And that beauty that was her mom, it's not gone. It's in another place. That's it. We get on airplanes routinely and go to other places. We just can't make a phone call to that. If you are not comfortable with the end of life, you need to effing get there. And I would usually just throw an F word in, but this is going to be on places where there's people that don't like that word. You can't be afraid of that because it will always be there and it will be coming for you one day. It will come for the people you love. Come to terms with that. Do research. If you're a science person, research the science of the electricity and the energy that goes through the body. If you're a person of faith, the line of spirituality and science has never been so thin. It's never been so thin. They are so close together now. But we are given the choice to react to everything any way we want to. I choose to see the beauty that was Joe's life. That's what I choose. I know people that became angry when he left. That there was some anger in him. My dad looked at me one day and said, "I don't know what I did to make that happen." I said, "Dad, you didn't make that happen. You made the boy that went and changed a starter motor at 6 a.m. for an elderly woman just because she needed it. You made the boy that 400 people showed up, 500 people for the viewing, who was a mechanic. You made that part. The part that disappeared, you had nothing to do with that shit. He was out in the forest doing his thing, and he slipped and made a mistake. You made the man." You must learn it is not what happens to us in life that's important. It is our reaction to it. That's Anthony Robbins' line. Everybody uses it now. All the talking heads, the people that are the best in this industry of self-improvement, Ed Milet, Tom Bailey, they all agree. Oprah Winfrey, they all know and agree now. It is how you react to anything. You decide. You decide. I'm being attacked by a kitty. Here he is. I'm not a cat person. That's the best cat ever. I think he knows I'm bothered and pain out here because he's following me around, rolling on my feet. You are given a choice and an opportunity to do what you want. Make the choices wisely because time is fleeting. You don't have that much time. You don't. I started looking at that. I'll probably live to 70. That's the average for guys that are male pattern baldness, guys that have had a little bit of high blood pressure in their past. I'll probably live to 70. That means in a year, I'll be to single-digit Christmases. Single-digit birthdays. If I'm a good boy and I laugh a lot more and I be more relaxed, I may make 75. But the thought of that stunned me. It made me realize I used to get resentful of all the time Nicole spent with horses. Well, the other day I got a slap in the face from one of my mentors, Anthony Robbins. He said a line that I'd heard 1,000 times. He said, "You got to trade your life of expectation for appreciation and everything will change." And I started doing the inventory of all the stuff Nicole takes care of that I never have to touch. I don't begrudge her 1 minute anymore. I never will again. If you are not grateful for the life you have, do inventory. That's it. That's all it takes. Stand where you are now and count all the things around you that you didn't create. The clothes, the shoes, air conditioning, the buildings, the paved roads, the car, the people that you're around, all the things that were just handed to you by someone else's work. The food you're eating. Yeah, you may have to go have a job and go work for it, but somebody else created all that stuff. Start being grateful for everything around you. Do an inventory if you think you're cheated or somehow. And come to terms with death. If you want to DM me and talk about it more in depth, we can do that. But look, my coaching is not temporary. It's a year-long program. I had a guy offer me to do a 3-month program, offer me a pretty decent chunk of money recently, and I said, no, I won't do that because he's not going to change in 3 months. The first thing you have to get control of if you want a new life, it goes like this. It's body, mind, marriage, mission. That's how it works. You have to get your body and nutrition going. Once that gets in order and you start getting the healthy gut and things going, the mental will start to clear. And it does begin to clear. And once the mental comes, learning becomes easier. Keeping a positive attitude becomes easier. Your energy level begins to go up. And then it's marriage, and not just the one your significant other, but I'm talking the marriage of all the relationships with the people in your life, the people you communicate with at work, your family members, how you talk to them. That's your marriage. Those are your marriages in life. Those are the relationships that have to be in line. And the mission is last. Your work is last. And if your work's your mission, you're very fortunate. But I heard someone say the other day, the term side hustle has become the thing. But they said something called side mission. How freaking cool is that? Have a side mission. If you don't have something you're doing on the side away from your work, outside of your hobbies, get an effing clue and get one. Because you need one. Me, I love doing this stuff. I love doing this. And this is going to be a lot more of these videos. And I don't care if nobody ever sees them. I have a great time doing them. Know that you were here for a reason. You are not an accident. You women especially, know that you are beautiful. And that you are worth the time. And that what is inside you is way damn more important than any of this shit on the surface. Know that. You are a beautiful human being. The guys too, but especially women nowadays, they are bombarded with so much crap about how they should look, what they should dress, how they should eat, all this crap. And they're like, they're not good enough, all the makeup. No, you are gorgeous in who you are. Just understand that God didn't make mistakes. I have a strong belief in God. I also believe God's timing is perfect timing. I wish you the very best. Thanks for listening. I hope this gives some insights into why I think how I do and my thoughts process of the end of our lives.